everyone. There we go. Hello everyone. Welcome to today's classes. Volume is working. Perfect. Good. So, thank you everyone for being patient with me today. I have some guests home and I didn't plan my things quite right enough, so I was a little bit delayed. You probably will see them pass through the door a little bit later as they're going. But let's jump right into today's class. Number 17 of Taiji Qigong Shibashi set 3, feel or feeling happiness. Did I wrote that correctly? Yes, I did. Okay. Feeling happiness. It's a very interesting movement because most people don't expect that in a Qigong form. Hi everyone, Beth, Alex, who else is there? I saw Deirdre, Gunhild. Thanks for being there. So, feeling happiness. It's a very different movement because most people don't expect to see this kind of movement in Qigong form. And it actually connects deeply with the fire element, the heart energy, how things are moving, and getting this kind of explosion of energy all around as we will be jumping, which is a very interesting. Most of the time we see Qigong, particularly when it relates to Taiji, as being more of that water element, the slower, heavier, fluid type of slower movement. Whereas this one has a big explosion that happens through it. There's this happiness, this explosion of wow, enthusiasm, fun that just kind of jump around and makes us jump from one side to the other. It also helps the expansion of the Shen. So as we have this hand movement going around, we're not just feeling the Wei Qi around us, but we allow this expansion of the Shen to go much further and touch and connect out and then away from the other side. And as we'll do it, you'll start to feel through your practice that this bubble is not just at the end of our fingertips, but goes further and further and further away. But before we can actually jump into it, it's kind of good to have a little bit more qi so that we have the possibility of getting this expansion. So let's start this course with a little bit of a movement using the first movement, since we're working with set 3 to strengthen our connection between heaven and earth. Allow the qi to circulate through the body, and as we start to feel it a little bit more, and particularly this rising aspect connecting us to heaven, will allow us to jump a little bit more around. So finger crossed together, palm up. As we start our inhale, allowing the palms to rise. And here making sure we don't lift our shoulders, but that we start to rotate through the humerus to get this turning of the palm up, so that we can bring our palm as much as possible above the head to connect upward to heaven, turning the palm down, allowing the palm to sink, bringing the energy back down into the lower dantian. The lower part of the body remains elongated. We don't want to have an up and down because we're mostly focusing from the torso, from the lower dantian upward to connect it up to heaven. As we inhale, feeling that gentle stretch that allows the shoulder to sink, and then the exhale, allowing the energy to go back from the top of the head down into the lower abdomen. Inhaling up. Rotating the palm, connecting upward, turning the palm down, exhale, letting it sink, feeling this heaviness of the energy, but also this fullness filling up the lower abdomen. Then when you inhale, feeling the lightness through connecting up. And then the density of the energy coming down, filling up into the lower abdomen as we exhale. Inhaling up, using the breath to fill all the way up to the palm and into the sky. Turning the palm down, exhale, allowing the energy to sink, to reach into the lower abdomen. Inhaling up. Connecting, exhale. Sinking into the lower abdomen. Inhaling. Up, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And let's do that one more. Inhale. Up. Exhale. We're going to do a little bit different. We'll transition with the first movement of set 2, allowing the arm to rise all the way above our head, turning the palm up and opening the hands to the side as we exhale. The reason we're transitioning with it is to get not only the rising, but also to start to feel the expansion through the weight chi around us so that we can follow it when we do the feeling happiness movement, the jumping that's involved with it. So as you inhale, feeling the rising, the palm turns up, and here feel almost like if there's a bubble that you're expanding, pushing all around you as you exhale, and allowing it to sink into the earth. And as you feel it here, feeling this rising, bringing you up, connecting all the way through the palm and feeling the bubble around that you're gently pushing and connecting to, and allowing the chi to sink under your feet into the ground. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do one more. Inhale, rising all the way up. Exhale. And so the movement we want to do today will just shift the weight to the right side, allowing the left leg to jump as we open up and take 3 steps. And then on the other side, up and step. So shoulders remain forward, up, 1, 2, 3. Up, 1, 2, 3. Up, 1, 2, 3. Feeling this rising and expansion happening as we're stepping. Up, 1, 2, 3. Up, 1, 2, 3. Inhale to the left. Exhale to the right. In. Exhale. In. Out. And feel this giant bubbly smile inside your lower dantian starting to grow and expanding all the way around. Up. Out. Let's do one more. Inhale. Exhale. And stand back down to the center. Take a moment to breathe, catch your breath if you need to. So the physical movement in itself is relatively simple. We're using the rising of our legs to give us this light jump. It doesn't have to be a big jumping out. It's just this up, just enough for our feet to kind of lift and land. And then I'll be stepping kind of at a 45-degree angle from one side, then up 45, which allows me to keep my shoulders forward. So the technical aspect is lifting the arm and the leg at the same time, up, stepping, and on the other side, up, stepping out. And this allows us to move. But what's really interesting is that condensing of the qi and allowing it to explode naturally. So you feel this, yay! It's like when you see a friend you haven't seen in a long time, it's like, hey, they're coming, yes. So you get this bounciness, this explosion from the inside, or when you just burst out laughing. It's that same kind of happiness coming deep from inside, expressing and exploding outward. So we want to get this same explosion out. And the physical movement in itself is, well, relatively simple. Everything just opens up on its own. So as we breathe, inhale, feel this openness. 1, 2, 3. Then again, 1. And your hand is kind of guiding you in that direction. So you get this whole up, 1, 2, 3, up, 1, 2, 3, up, 1, 2, 3, up, 1, 2, 3. You get this explosion, and the upper hand helps to grab this connection that goes up towards the sky and kind of extend it, and you're following it as it comes down to one side and then up onto the other side. So feeling not only this bubble that's closer to you, but the bubble that goes a lot further. And here, further out this way as well. For me, as I'm doing it, I can reach relatively easily into the parking lot that's behind and the next building almost. It really feels like my mind is reaching out to it. Then on the other side, I'm reaching out into the street and further on. So you get this expansion. At first, you might be able to start to feel the walls into the room you're in, and then gradually allow this perception to spread and go a little further outward as well. So it's a movement that really comes deeply from the lower dantian, from this gathering of energy to have this outburst of it. And for those of you who played with set 1 and set 2, set 3 being the same, the second to last movement focused specifically on this gathering of the qi into the lower dantian, the yang aspect of the qi into the lower dantian that really starts to roll and bubble and bounce. In set 1, we have bouncing the ball, which the ball we're bouncing is not so much in our hand, but it's really that lower dantian that starts to spin and starts to vibrate. Once you catch this bouncing sensation, you really get this feeling that something is rolling and vibrating inside. It's the same kind of vibrating bounciness when you laugh very hard. When you have this burst out laughing, you have this sensation that the lower belly is moving quite a bit. It's the same thing. And in set 2, we have this rolling in front of the dantian where we get this rotation happening inside the lower dantian as well. And here we just need this expansion happening to really get the bounciness. So instead of just bouncing it inside, this ball is bouncing us out, literally outward. So it's a little more tricky to get, and we need to have this yang, this vibration, this sensation that gathers into the lower dantian to make the movement as expressive and intense as it should be. It's not just, oh, I'm, waving my arm and lifting my knee and, okay, yeah, it's just another day. That doesn't feel very happy. You really need to get this full-on expression as we're doing it to have this woo. You're allowed to laugh out loud and to scream a little bit if you feel like it. You're maybe alone at your place, or if you have other people, well, they'll think you're a little strange, but that's good. Strange is good. So let's go back into gathering a little bit more the qi between the palm, reconnect a little deeper with the lower dantian so that we can increase even more the sensation and allow it to bounce us off, up and down. And of course, the bouncing doesn't have to be very high. You adapt it to your ability. Just slightly lifting the foot is enough. You don't have to jump very high. It's just to feel that lightness. And technically, once you really get the movement, you don't jump. You are taken by the energy and it jumps alone. So always be mindful, always be careful when you do it. Make sure there's space, that there's no, kids' toys around you or anything that you could trip on, and just allow this bounciness of the yang to take you away. So in order to strengthen the lower dantian, let's massage a little bit the center of the palm. Hi, Alina, welcome. Open up the point as we massage it, pulling the qi from the torso into the hand, which will then help us to have this extension going up towards the sky. Gently massaging so that everything opens. Up. And then do the same on the other side. If you're not familiar with the massage, you want to press towards the center of the palm, push. So press gently the palm to feel the meaty part under the skin. Push towards the middle finger and then release so that you create a wave and a suction that pulls the qi down the arm into the palm. So warming up, opening up Laogong so that we can connect the palm together and connect the palm to the lower dantian. Up, opening here. Getting this feeling of the ball of qi between the palms. Taking a few breaths. Connect the sensation. And then from here, we'll do a qi perception exercise just to connect with the lower dantian as well as possible. So once our palms are feeling each other, facing each other, it's relatively easy to feel the connection between the two Laogong. But there's usually in this particular position with really the palm purely facing each other, there's not much of a connection with the lower abdomen. A little bit, but not so much. So from here, if I'm starting to angle my palm and turn them all the way so that they face my lower abdomen, I'm losing the connection between the palm, but I can feel both palms being connected independently with the lower abdomen. I might feel a little bit of connection between the fingers, but the Laogong point themselves are not really aligned together. It's more like they're shooting towards the belly, but not so much facing each other. Once you feel this connection between each palm within the lower abdomen, as you bring your hands back, you might find that there's a position where you can feel all three, where both palms are connected together, but there's still enough of an angle that they connect inside the lower abdomen. Then just for sensation, we're going to bring our hands really facing each other, where again we lose the sensation with the lower abdomen. And then gradually turn the palm, find that triangle, and then overpassing it, connecting only the palm with the lower abdomen. And again, opening, finding the triangle one more, up, all the way till we can feel only the palms together. And then gently finding the right angle where we can find all three of them together. And from here we'll do something really strange that nobody should ever do when they do Qigong. We'll smile. Of course, please smile all the time. It's essential for the Qi. And you should notice that when you start to smile, the sensation actually between the palm and into the lower dantian just start to expand and grow a lot more. Finding this quiet smile, almost Buddha-ish smiling sensation just makes us feel a lot more relaxed, connects us and roots us deeper within the lower dantian. And you might even start to feel like you're growing a Buddha belly, belly Buddha belly. There's this big ball that's all around you that just, like the Chinese Buddha that's always laughing all the time. And through this feeling, just making sure that it's not only in the front of the abdomen, but that you can feel it all the way towards the spine. Maybe connect it more consciously through Migmen and feel how this bubble actually fills up the spine and kind of goes up towards the top of the head. Don't try to guide mentally the energy, just adjust your structure so that the feeling inside the lower abdomen can overflow into the spine and all the way to the top of the head. I'll be stepping back so you can see me jump around a little bit better. And with this sensation, we'll kind of do the movement without fully doing it. We just want to feel this happy burst of energy that can go up and connect from the top of the head and expand out to the side. And almost like if we want to follow it, we're just not going to follow it quite yet. And bringing it back to feel into the lower abdomen. Taking a moment to fill up the lower dantian again, to really make sure that the sensation is as strong as we can feel it. And once it's there, up, allowing one hand to kind of rise above the head, expand as far as possible, up, and allowing it to come back inside. Feeling the lower dantian filling up again. And on the other side, allowing it to go up, connecting the top of the head with the hand, guiding it as far as you can perceive, down into the ground, and back up into the abdomen. Here again, feeling it through the body, connecting up, top of the head, expand all the way up and gradually come back and reconnect inside. Let's do this one more time each side. Up. Allowing the expansion of the Shen out and coming back. Up on the other side, connecting up, extending, reaching down into the ground, and then back. Again, taking a moment to feel this fullness into the lower dantian. And feel almost like if you're at the point of laughter, at the point of bursting, laughing out loud. To get this vibration very present inside the lower abdomen. If some of you aren't quite sure where the lower dantian is located, just laugh a good belly laugh and you'll feel this ball inside your lower abdomen starting to vibrate. So from this sensation, we'll allow it to expand a little bit faster than we just did so that we get the rising up and the jumping at the same time. So bringing the awareness into the abdomen, compressing it a little bit, and then inhaling up and exhaling up. And we'll take a break after each one just so we can really feel up this sensation inside the lower abdomen. So here, feeling the lower abdomen, compressing it, inhale, up, gently exhale, coming back into that feeling inside the lower abdomen. And again, when you're ready, inhale, up, and back. And you want to reach the point where you're almost laughing all the way to the bank. Just up, feeling this gentle laughter as you feel it inside, and taking a moment to make sure the sensation in the lower abdomen is present. And then again, inhale, up, and have this. It's like a nice walk in a beautiful park with lots of butterflies and birds singing. And beautiful environment, just exploding of laughter. Up, taking a moment to really feel the connection again, and then explode. Up. Let's do it again. 2 more times, going and back. Inhale. Up. And the other side. Good. Now let's try to do that non-stop. So we'll be inhaling as we go to the left and exhaling as we come back, walking to the right. Remember, try to maintain the upper torso facing forward, so the feet will be just gently to the side. I don't want to be facing one side and facing the other. So we stay forward, which allows us to have a little bit more of work through the daimai and the waist area. So the foot are just slightly open, so we can walk up and feel comfortable. I don't want to keep my feet too forward because then it feels like I'm cross-step, which makes it a bit more difficult to walk because then the structure is very different. So my feet are just slightly open, stepping. So even though technically my leg are somewhat crossing, but if I was going in that way, it's comfortable. I'm not overstepping and trying to cross very deeply. So, coming back, reconnecting to the ball, reconnecting to the laughing center inside the lower abdomen. Allowing the sensation to spread through the body. And when you feel that you're ready to burst out laughing, just do so. Inhaling up, exhaling. In, out. Exhale. In, exhale. In, out. In, out. In, out. In, out. And one more, in, out. And taking just a quick moment again to reconnect. Make sure you're still belly laughing. Bringing the awareness towards the feet. Making sure the feet are strongly connected with the ground. And gently rubbing the palms together. We'll take a short break. Take a little sip of water. If you have any question or comments, let me know how it's going. Love the exercise we just did, gathering in Dantian, then expanding the Shen out and up. You're welcome. My pleasure, Alina. This is a quality of movement that relates to the heart and the fire element. That's, as I was saying, somewhat rare to find in most modern Qigong, where everything is more Taiji-ish, water, slow, and doesn't have such expansion. But it's something that is much more present in set 5, 6, and 7, and particularly in set 8, where set 8 being the quintessential form, the essence of the system Professor Lin put together, has a lot of these changes between all 5 movements of Qi, sometimes called 5 elements, the Wuxing, where we really feel the different qualities of all the different organs working together. And this one, this expansion, this happiness, joyfulness that's filling us up, that really comes from the inside and out, is a very particular quality. For those of you who did the set 2 series with me, there was one of the time where we had this connecting with the images and really feeling this, wow, lightness, happiness, relaxation. It's the same quality, it's just approached a little bit differently. This one has a much more young and expressive perspective to it, where we want this explosion. And I would make a parallel with this explosion to what is known as Fajing, the explosion of energy in martial arts, which sometimes becomes a little hard because it's more the wood liver is not free to really express itself in a joyful way. So they put in a little bit more anger and emotion, which actually taint this explosiveness rather than just being a explosiveness of the body, of the energy without any ill intent. So on the opposite, we want this happiness to explode, and happiness can give us a huge strength to carry on a project that we feel enthusiastic about. We have something we want to do and we feel this huge energy that just carries us. Enthusiastic roots the roots of the word means being carried by the gods. It's that energy that just lifts us up. And that's the part of the heart of the Shen that expand and allows us to have this huge sensation being present. So there's a more yang expression to it. The calm and peaceful side, which is a bit more of the yin side, must still be present inside. We don't want to become manic or too, it's not a crazy joy that just, we won the lottery and we're just ecstatic. That's different. And that can lead to a lot more of a health issue. It's really this deep happiness that, wow, great. It's a beautiful day. I'm full of energy. Let's do something beautiful just because it's today and it's the best day there is. So feeling this explosion being present will allow us to kind of be carried away throughout our day. Let's see. That's going to require a lot of practice. Totally ungraceful doing that. No worries. It takes a little bit of time, but then again, it starts to happen on its own. Gracefulness just expand as we start to really feel the qi and smooth it out. So if the liver is a little too constricting, then the qi is not quite as flowy, so the expansion is a little bit more different. But at the same time, this expansion starts to clean up some of the stagnation so that the movement becomes smoother and smoother as we do it and really soften itself. So, good. Surprisingly fun. Yes, it really looks a little strange when we're not familiar to this kind of movement. And yet once we start to discover it and feel really how it goes, like, whoa, yeah, it really carries something different if we open our mind to it. My liver loves to constrict, so this one will be helpful. You're welcome, Beth. Beth is, for those who don't know, Beth is an acupuncturist, so I'm feel free to give her a bit more Chinese medicine understanding because she gets it. So, and some of you also have Chinese medicine background, so you can understand what I'm talking about. If you don't, liver, heart, wood, fire, whatnot, don't worry about it. Just explode the belly laugh, and that's all you really need in order for it to work. The more happy, the easier it becomes. Yes, excellent notice, Alex. Indeed, the more relaxed, the more happy, the more fluid things become as we're doing it. And it also goes the other way. If we start to just relax a little bit in the movement, we'll feel how our mood becomes happier and start to fold. Both of them kind of start to merge together, and we reach a point where we don't really know if we're happy so everything is smooth, or we're smooth, everything is smooth so we're happy. It kind of blends so well together that it gathers up and really makes us feel like, wow, very good. Excellent, particularly for when we have a bit of a downward day where we don't have as much energy. We feel a bit forcing ourselves to do that a few times. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, but it's starting to feel lighter and lighter and lighter. It's like, wow, good. Now the energy is flowing better, and all of a sudden our mood feels better, and we change it. So it's a very interesting exercise that works both ways. And based on more modern neuroscience research, they realize that in order to change the brain, it's easier to change our posture. And that by adjusting our posture, the change it creates in our mind really makes a huge difference versus trying to really go just through the mind to be able to change the body. So this exercise is excellent for this, to really get this laughing, relaxing. The same with the stepping, which has a bit more of a down and connecting with the earth sensation. We can get this music feeling relaxing. And then after the more relaxed, then we have the happier bounciness. It's like going out into a dance evening where the music at first is a little slow just to get everybody in the mood. And then later on, we start to jump because everybody is happy. The party is raging on, and we're having a lot of fun without the need of any alternating brain substance. Great. So let's see. Let's do that again, just because it's fun to do it. So let's connect again with the lower abdomen. Breathing, feeling this deep connection. You might feel that the lower dantian is a little warmer than usual if you maintain the laughing state of mind. Feeling how this bounciness inside is nice and present. Slightly bending the legs, starting to feel the connection as we breathe in and out. Feeling the connection through the legs, because we'll need this slight sitting to get the expansion happening. If you've practiced a little bit this stretching, releasing of the tendons, that's also part of it, which makes the bounciness become easier. So on your next exhale, relaxing, shifting the weight to the right, stretching the hamstring. Inhale, up, step, exhale on the other side. In, out, in, out. Up. And one more. In, out. Good. Reconnecting with the palm into the lower dantian. Feeling the connection from the lower body through the legs, through the feet, deep into the ground. Feeling the rootedness, making sure the chi sinks into the earth, doesn't stay up. Feel this deeper connection. And if you need to, we can use the last movement of set 2. To exhale and allow the chi to sink a little deeper towards the feet into the ground. Inhale. Going back into a more peaceful, calm inner sensation. And one more. Connecting through the feet, deep into the ground. Good. Gently rubbing the palms together. Good. Let's see. Good. How are you guys feeling? Yes. Well, actually, baby elephants are very graceful when you see them walk around. Their roundedness is very central, the way they move around, their capacity to step, even though they weigh so much, but yet be so graceful. The traditional idea that elephants are afraid of mice is a misinterpretation. They're actually careful not to step on them. It was a very interesting episode of Mythbusters, for those of you who know the show, where they were in Africa, there were some elephants. They decided to make some tests where they hid a mouse inside elephant poop that was actually hard enough where they dig a hole in it. Anyway, they were hiding the mouse under, so when the elephant was coming through, they were just pulling a string, and then the elephant would see the mouse and then just starts to step back and start to walk in a different area. So it's not that they're afraid. No, not afraid. They're just very careful not to step on them. They're aware of their environment, and they see that there's smaller animal life that if they were to step on them, they would just squish them. So elephants are actually very soft and graceful. I'm sure you guys were very soft and graceful in your own way of doing it. It'll actually develop smoothly as you practice it, just like everything else. And because it's such a different perspective than what we're usually used to, it takes just not so much practice, but more letting go. Not holding so much, but just letting the chi and the shen expand, and all of a sudden everything just floats. Time to float in a happy, positive way. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here. Sorry for the slightly delayed beginning of the class today. And I'll be seeing you all on Monday for the last movement. If you made it this far and you watched it on the replay and you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. I'll be more than happy to reply. And if you like the class, give it a little thumbs up so that YouTube know to suggest it to other people who might need to feel a bit more happiness inside. All right, everyone. Take care. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you on Monday for our last part of this beautiful set. Take care, everyone. Bye.